What's up, wanderers? We're Jed and Janet, an American and a Canadian living together with big dreams of traveling the world and leaving the 9-to-5 behind. We're going to take you on an epic 2-week journey through Greece, where we explore mountains, beaches, cities, villages, and everything in between. We're starting our adventure where many people do, in Athens, and we've only got 24 hours. We'll show you the most iconic sites, and at the end, we're sharing our top 7 tips so you can plan an amazing day in Athens. Athens is a sprawling city with rich history, stunning views, delicious food, and a vibrant culture. And at its center, as it has stood for thousands of years, the Acropolis.
We're on our way to the Acropolis, and we don't have time to get coffee. All the coffee places open at like 8, and our ticket is for 8, so we're sans coffee. But the excitement of the Acropolis has me going.
Yes, and all the cocaine.
Shh.
Throngs of crowds we've left behind.
Yeah.
So we'll be one of the first ones up.
We want to get up there, and then we'll see everything else on our way back down. It's awesome, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. We're at the Parthenon. It's a very intense experience.
It's overwhelming, the scope of the history of it. So when you're up there, there's not really information about what you're looking at, so it is good to do some advanced research. So if you're watching this, good job.
So Acropolis actually means city at the top, and it's because it is 150 meters above sea level.
And from the top, you can see the rest of the city. You can see the sea out in the distance, and you can see the mountains. It's amazing.
Whoa, whoa, what bird is that?
That was like a bright green bird.
Yeah.
What? Bird intermission.
Yeah.
So there's a really cool origin myth about how Athens came to be the city of Athena. So both Athena and Poseidon wanted to be the god or goddess of Athens.
Yeah.
And so they had a competition to see who the people would pick. And Poseidon struck down his trident, and it sprung a spring, and this symbolized his naval power. Whereas Athena, she created an olive tree, which symbolized peace and prosperity. And so the people chose her to be the guardian of the city.
Yep, peace won.
Yeah.
Choose peace, people.
Choose peace.
Be like the Athenians.
Yeah. Another temple for Athena was the Erechtheum, and it's known for having these 6 caryatids, which are these women figures on its southern porch. Who were the caryatids? The term caryatid comes from these women who would do a dance around a nut tree for the goddess Artemis. And so these 6 figures are one of the greatest of their kind, and there is a little bit of controversy with them. So the ones that we saw up there are not the original ones. Those are down in the museum, and in the museum there are actually only 5 of them, because in 1816 a Lord Elgin came here and basically stole it, and he eventually sold it to the British Museum. And the British Museum still has that 6th caryatid today, and they are very kind of adamant that they're not going to give it back and that it's theirs and they're keeping it, whereas the Greek people have been asking for it back. So we hope one day that the British Museum will do the right thing and return it to its rightful home here in Athens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bring it home. So Unless you're going with a tour group, getting the time ticket for 8 a.m. was definitely the move. And then you get to the top, like sort of speed walk to the top before all the crowds get there. There was only a few people there when we got to the top, but when we left around 10 a.m., it was super crowded.
Check out the crowds, man. Wow.
You definitely come at 8.
Definitely come at 8.
Early as possible.
Yeah.
So if you want some alone time with the Parthenon, definitely get there early.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of other ruins and ancient buildings that you'll pass on the way up, but don't worry, you can check them all out on the way back down. There's an ancient Roman theater that's still used today,
Taking a video, you dangus.
as well as the much older Theater of Dionysus.
I have a hot tip for you. If you're done exploring the Acropolis and you are really craving a coffee, come to the rooftop of the museum and you can sit outside, enjoy the view, and sip on an ice cold cappuccino. I'm used to, a giant American like Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. So I think I want another coffee too.
Yeah.
So now we're in the Plaka, which is one of the oldest neighborhoods in Athens. As you can see here, many of the neoclassical style buildings have been preserved. This neighborhood survived much of the destruction of the earlier classical buildings because of its proximity to these historical sites.
Wow.
And speaking of proximity, there it is. We are going to Anafiotika, which is a colorful section of the Plaka neighborhood.
Anafiotika is a maze of stairways and alleys. It is so cool. Check this out.
Let's go, Jed.
The houses and stairways of Anafiotika are unique to Athens because they weren't built by Athenians. They were built in the 19th century by workers from the Cycladic Islands, which include Santorini, Mykonos, and Naxos. That's why the vibes are so different here.
Wow. How did Athens come to be this sprawl of concrete blocks? So after the Greek Civil War and World War II, there was a big housing crisis in Greece, and so many of the classically beautiful buildings were torn down to make new, bigger concrete block apartment buildings. There was a rise of economic prosperity and construction, and there wasn't much thought for preserving older buildings. That's why I think it's so cool that we get to visit this neighborhood. So I read a really interesting article on the BBC about how the Greeks came up with a radical solution to this housing problem, and it's called antiparochi, which roughly means mutual exchange. So how it worked is a contractor would approach the owner of a house and offer to knock it down and build a concrete block of apartment buildings in its place, and would give them a couple of flats in exchange. What I thought was so interesting about it is that there weren't really like contracts signed. It was just kind of a mutual exchange. And this really solved the Greek housing crisis, but it's also why so many buildings were knocked down and why there is such a sprawl today. Yes. Wow. I have a little friend here. And so people live in these houses, so when you visit, do so respectfully and quietly, and make sure to give the kitties a little scritch. We just had such a good iced cappuccino up there on the rooftop, and we met two really nice Greek people who were speaking with us and giving us all sorts of cool tips. Thanks, Dimitri. The funniest thing to me was the Greek guy was like, we're just sipping our coffee. And I was like, oh yeah, I totally slammed that iced frappe. But anywho, we got a lot of energy now, and we're gonna make better use of our combo ticket because the Acropolis Museum wasn't included, but we're going to go to some places that are included.
The ancient Agora of Athens was once the bustling heart of the city, where people came together for commerce, festivals, and politics.
How are you feeling about this place so far, Jed?
It's very cool. It's just it's massive.
Yeah.
So much stuff to see.
Altar of Ares, god of war. Anywhere you are, when you look up, there it is. It's so iconic. It's like trying to imagine how this must have looked.
The Temple of Hephaestus is the best preserved Greek temple, I believe, in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We are here. Oh,
There's the temple. Oh my God.
Whoa.
Bam.
The Temple of Hephaestus was built in the 5th century BC. From on top of this hill, it would have overlooked the many workshops of the Agora. Hephaestus was the god of craftsmanship, metalworking, and fire, but the temple was also dedicated to Athena, the goddess of artisans. Later, around 700 AD, it was converted into a church and continued in that role for 1100 years, which is why it's so well preserved today. The Stoa of Attalos was built in 159 BC and was originally used as a marketplace. Each one of these doors would have been a market stall or shop. The Stoa fell into ruin by the 3rd century AD. The building we're walking through now was reconstructed in the 1950s. Today, there's a museum here housing all kinds of artifacts found at the Ancient Agora. Next stop, Monastiraki Square.
We're gonna have lunch.
Oh, it's about time.
Yeah, we're hungry.
We're here at Athens, and the hustle and bustle is real.
Yeah, Monastiraki is a busy neighborhood.
Lively here, that's for sure.
Tourists and locals alike. So we're gonna maybe have some kebab or gyro.
This gyro is so good. The bread is so like fluffy and warm. The pork is nicely charred. There's fries in it. Jed's using the mystery spice.
That's my Spice Girl name.
If you're looking for a souvenir, Monastiraki has you covered. Why not bring home a penis-shaped keychain for grandma? For some strange reason, you can buy one almost anywhere in downtown Athens. Have you ever been to the oldest street in Europe? Me neither. Let's go look at it together.
Tripodon Street, which is the oldest street in Europe, has been named the same thing for just about 24 centuries. Back in the day, back in ancient times, this would have connected the theater of Dionysus with the ancient Agora. It would have been a place where playwrights, local celebrities, philosophers would have been on the street. When there was an exceptional play or musical performance, they would be sponsored and awarded, and those awards were in the form of monuments that the sponsors would put up sort of to honor the playwright and honor themselves too for being the sponsor.
We did so good. Look at this cool thing we built.
We're here at the end where the best surviving monument is actually still here. It's the Lysikrates monument, and it's right above us here.
So this column was only part of the original monument. Sitting on top would have been a bronze trophy shaped like a bowl with 3 sturdy legs. This was called a tripod, and it's where Tripodon Street gets its name. The street would have been lined with these monuments.
Hello?
Oh, hey. Welcome. Welcome to our Airbnb. Yeah, we got a nice living room here. We got a nice balcony. So the Acropolis is like right behind these trees and buildings. So
Yeah.
just imagine those.
Just imagine.
And then we have Acropolis views.
Yep.
We got a little table here. That's Janet's seat over there.
Hey.
To do like a little flip jump to get in. Little entryway, a little foyer. We got a desk here to put all of our junk.
Woo.
Yeah. Kitchen, got a stove, a sink. Tap water is good to drink. Whoop, whoop. Big bed, lots of storage,
This place is actually a lot bigger than I thought it was based on the pictures.
right?
And it's only €70 a night.
Nice little spot, really close. We're like a 5-6 minute walk from the Acropolis gate.
Yep.
So if you're going to the Acropolis, this is the place.
So if you guys are interested, we'll link it and you can check it out for yourself.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like yourself, huh?
Yeah. Hey friends. So we're going out on the town. The sun is setting in like 20 minutes and I have some bars saved on the map that I want to check out tonight.
Yeah. Having a cocktail.
Yeah, or a mocktail. This kitty's looking at me like, what? Where's your shave? Oh, big noises. Cutie. Behind me is the Arch of Hadrian, and it was built around 130 AD after the Roman Emperor Hadrian. And I just think it's really cool that this ancient thing is here in the modern city. The juxtaposition between the two is something that I've been really enjoying today. Are there any bug experts out there? What dang bug is this? Cicada? Nice here.
Yeah.
I like it. So over on the other side is where the Greek Parliament is. That's where they do the changing of the guard. Obviously not right now, but all right, shall we go to some bars?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Just outside Syntagma Square is the main shopping district for like the upscale shops.
Big pedestrian street.
Big pedestrian street. Irmu, which actually goes all the way down into Monastiraki, turns into like a little tiny bazaar kind of shop place.
Yeah.
But we didn't feel like hanging out in the big shopping district, so we're going a couple blocks down to a little bar down this little alley called Ipitou.
Yeah.
All right, what did we get there?
Got our drinks. I actually have no idea what this is. She gave us a little bag. Do you want to open it, Jed?
Let's check it out. I don't know what it is.
What's in the bag?
A dead bird.
What?
Popcorn.
Oh my god, yay! That's so much better. And there's ice in the water here, which I feel like is a first.
We're living large tonight.
I know.
We were headed to Psirri Square, check out some live music if we can find it. This is where they say it is, so. I hear music.
Yeah. Okay, that must mean we're getting
It's a good
closer.
sign. I'm optimistic.
Oriental, Psirri, Otani Komiura, Gune Kamopura, Dina Pastakos, Kainos, Stamadia, Usibuna.
As promised, we have our top 7 tips coming at ya. So number 1, when you arrive here, if you arrive by plane, taking public transport from the airport is really easy. And when you go to buy your ticket, you could get a €9 one, which is just one way. You could get a round trip, which is €16, or you could get the tourist 3-day ticket, which is €20.
The airport is really small, so it's really easy to find the train, and it's about a 40-minute ride. It's super simple. It goes right into the heart of Athens. Our next tip is about the Lycabettus Hill, Lycabettus Hill. Still don't know how to pronounce stuff. I suggest walking up it if you're able to, and if you have the time. It's a really cool hike. But if you aren't able to hike that mountain, it's really easy to just take the funicular. It was €9. €9. So yeah, we're here at the end of August, and it was mobbed up there when we went.
Yeah, but it was really cool, definitely worth it. And if I wasn't crunched for time, I would have wanted to hike up it.
Yeah, you get a whole 360 view of Athens. Our next tip is about the Acropolis, the crown jewel of Athens.
So we already talked about getting the 8 a.m. time ticket and rushing to the top to avoid the crowds. But if you have the time, check out the Acropolis Museum the day before. That way, you'll learn some of the history and have some context for what you'll see the next morning up at the Acropolis. This is a way to really enhance the experience.
Also, wear good sturdy shoes. It is slippery. You're walking on a lot of uneven rocks, so be careful.
We also bought the combo ticket. It was €30, and we were able to go to a bunch of other different attractions today, like the Roman Agora and
Temple of Hephaestus, the Ancient Agora.
And there's other ones also that we just didn't have time for.
Not the museum.
No, not the museum is not included.
Yes.
But I really enjoyed having the combo ticket. It was really easy. So we're staying in the Plaka neighborhood, which I would highly suggest because it's really close to everything.
So there's tons of cafes, shops,
Restaurants.
bars, you know, anything you could want. And it's super close to all the attractions, like all the historical places. It's right there. Part of Plaka is the Anafiotika neighborhood,
Oh, yeah.
which is like just winding labyrinths of stairs and alleys and little passages. At some points you're like, can I go here? Am I allowed to walk up this tiny little stairway? Is this somebody's house?
Can we go through here?
So you gotta like be mindful because it is a neighborhood and people live there. So don't yell and make a lot of noise.
I really liked it. That honestly might have been one of my favorite parts of
It
the
was
day.
definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
Any kind of like pedestrian only streets with
love
like
that.
little secret alleyways and things like that. I'm all about it.
So fun. Where we're from in Canada and the States, it's not like this, which is how you interact with your servers. So here, there's a lot of just outdoor tables. And so it seems like the majority of the time, you just go and sit down. Every time, I always am like, can I sit here? And they're like, yeah, you can sit here. So you just like sit and then they come over to you, but they don't really come back to check on you. So if you want something, you have to flag them down.
Yeah, otherwise.
Which to me seems rude, like, because I'm not used to that.
Right.
But it's not.
It seems like if you just wait for them, you're going to be waiting there all day because people in Europe just take things slow. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
which is nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. Of course, we have like this huge agenda and itinerary, and we're just like, we got to go to the next spot.
Excuse me? Hello? Tipping isn't a culture here as much. It seems like anytime I paid with my card, except for one time, which was at the museum restaurant, which kind of makes sense, they didn't have the option to even add a tip on a card.
If you had exceptional service and you want to tip your server, go for it.
Yep.
I don't think it's like expected, except maybe in the touristy areas.
Yep.
But you know, if you're like a rich jet setter,
Tip away.
tip away.
Yeah. Boost that economy.
A high percentage of people speak English. All the wait staff we had spoke English to some degree. Like we didn't have problems communicating with anything, but you should learn a few phrases and kind of get into the culture that you're in. Learn a couple.
Herete.
Yeah.
Takanete.
Are still.
Yeah.
So yeah, just learn some Greek phrases.
Be polite.
Be polite. And yeah, don't really stress about it.
Yep. So what would we do differently next time we come back? Stay longer.
At least like another day, but if you can stretch it to 2, definitely go for it. I mean, Athens is very vibrant. It's definitely got soul.
There's so many more restaurants I wanted to go to.
Yeah.
Your girl can only eat so much.
Yeah, we were only here for a little over 24 hours.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a lot more to see, a lot more to eat, and it deserves a little bit more before you jump off to an island.
Yeah, your tummy will thank you for it.
Thanks so much for watching. Check out the description for a link to our Google Maps list of Athens. And if you subscribe, you'll be the first to know when the next video drops. Next up, we explore the Temple of Apollo and the mysterious Oracle of Delphi. See you there. Happy wandering.
Yes. You like screeches? Screechy screech.
Yes. That's a good kitty.
Aw. You want your whiskers? Okay.